Hello and welcome to the Tip of the Week. I'm Dr. Amy Starr with the Mesa Veterinary Clinic, Paws and Hooves Mole Veterinary Services, and San Francisco Stables. So this week I want to talk about colic prevention. So for those of you who don't own horses or any of the other equines like mules and donkeys and such, colic is basically a bellyache. And it can happen for lots of different reasons. Anything from being a little bit impacted, which basically in other terms means constipated, to having the intestine twist, to having something else like a tumor hanging on the intestine or anywhere else in the abdomen, or sand or rocks or all sorts of different things can cause colic. So colic is not a specific disease, it just is a general term for bellyache. Unfortunately, in horses, because of the way they're made, it can be life-threatening. It is definitely an emergency, needs to be seen as soon as possible, and because of the various reasons for it, there are some that can be life-threatening. You definitely don't want to just let the horse go, longer than a day or two, because the longer they go, the more stressed their system gets, and the more difficult it is for us to treat and to cure the problem. There are some that require surgery, there's some that require hospitalization, there's some that we can treat with just a one-time treatment. So, lots of different possibilities going on. And the hard thing is, like in humans or in small animals, we can take x-rays, we can do ultrasound, things like that. And that's not quite as easy in our larger equine breeds, and horses and stuff like that. So a lot of it is using our other diagnostic abilities. But basically, the thing I want to pass on to you guys this week is prevention. How to prevent, we can never prevent 100% because obviously we can't know if there is a tumor or, if the intestine twists or something. Those things are not preventable. But things like sand and impaction, which is basically, again, constipation. It's the food being balled up and getting stuck in the intestine. Those things we definitely can prevent. We want to be careful, and in our area of the world, we have a lot of sand, and horses like to nibble and try and get every last morsel of food off the ground, so we need to make sure and feed sand clear, which is basically, the ingredient is called psyllium. You can find it in a lot of different products at the feed stores. Ask for Sand Clear, Sandex. It's also known as Metamucil. And so every horse in the El Paso area should be on Sand Clear or some type of psyllium on a routine basis. And that means either giving it 1 to 2 days a week or giving it a whole week once a month. Also checking the stool. You can grab some of the stool as it's fresh and comes out and put it in a mason jar or a plastic bag, mix it with some water and let it settle and see if there's any sand at the bottom. That'll let you know if you're doing enough of the Sand Clear. And some horses are extra sensitive. Some are great and they don't have a lot of problems, and some, just a tiny bit of sand definitely causes some irritation and discomfort because it's like having sandpaper on the inside of your intestine and it hurts. The other way to help prevent against colic is to make sure and feed an appropriate food and at appropriate times. Horses should definitely be fed 2 to 3 times a day. And that way they're more like grazing than they are if they just eat once a day. We want to feed a high quality food, make sure that they have what's needed for their system, and we can definitely help answer any of those questions if you have some concerns. And then another is to make sure that the teeth are taken care of. The dentals, the floats are extremely important. Horses can definitely colic if they have dental problems because they're not grinding the food small enough, and so it gets stuck in the intestines. Almost all horses need to be floated every year, starting as young as 6 months. And so that will help prevent training problems and prevent colic and other issues like that. And then lastly, water, times of weather change. When the weather gets really cold or really hot, we always tend to see colic. and definitely making sure we have fresh water. Some horses are picky and they don't want to drink a lot if it's dirty. So make sure you're cleaning out your troughs and make sure that you have fresh water and that they have plenty of access to that. And then the very last thing, is to make sure that you are deworming an appropriate dewormer. I recommend doing a fecal test at least once a year to make sure that what you're using is working. And we want to ensure that there are no intestinal parasites. valleyvet.com has a great annual package. It comes with 6 products, and it tells you what month to give each product because there's lots of different types of parasites, and they come out at different times of the year, and they're treated by different products. And so that's a great annual product. That's what I use in all of my horses and in our boarders, and it just really keeps them cleaned out. So definitely want to prevent against colic. If you have any questions at all, please give us a call. We're more than happy to answer them. Have a great week. Bye-bye.